Welcome back. The number of refugees fleeing the crisis in South Sudan to Uganda has passed the 1 million mark, with 85% of them being women and children. This was revealed by the United Nations, which is appealing for urgent support from the international community. According to the organization, at least another 1 million refugees have fled to Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Central African Republic. South Sudan has been wrecked by civil war, which has seen numerous atrocities since 2013.
Refugees continue to arrive in their hundreds, and that may increase once the rainy season subsides. We continue to operate in a situation where we're chronically and severely underfunded. So far this year, the humanitarian response has received just 21% of the $674 million needed to provide all the needs to South Sudanese refugees in Uganda in 2017.
We face a lot of problems. As a pregnant mothers, we have no something to buy for us as well. And then, as you can see, children are crying here because of hunger. We are not getting a lot of anything to buy to our children this one. Food.
Well, food security experts in the Democratic Republic of Congo say hunger has soared in the last year, leaving 7.7 million people in urgent need of food, especially in the Kasai region. Now, the Food and Agriculture Organization warns of an imminent famine if care is not taken.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, says 7.7 million people are facing acute hunger due to rising violence and displacement in the Democratic Republic of Congo. In the Kasai region, some 1.4 million people have been forced to flee their homes over the past year. 37-year-old Agnes Lupetu is among millions who've had to flee her village to escape the fighting. She recounts her ordeal.
My 6 children were burnt alive in my house. My husband fled, but I don't know if he is dead or alive. I received some traditional treatment for my injuries in Cameroon.
Today, Agnes is amongst a number of displaced Congolese living in a city in the Kasai region located about 40 miles north of the Angolan border. She was allocated a plot of land where she can farm through a project facilitated and run by the FAO. This is Godet Shitita. She fled her village last year after her parents were killed and says she lost everything in the violence that ensued. She now grows vegetables under the FAO project.
My plants are growing well. Soon I will be able to harvest spinach, okra and eggplants to eat. I will also be able to sell a part of the harvest. I will then be able to buy salted fish or meat, as well as soap and clothes.
The FAO provides vegetable seeds and farming tools to boost food production and increase availability of nutritious foods among the displaced and host communities. However, the agency has warned that widespread displacement, 7 million people are displaced in the DRC, and a steady flow of refugees from neighboring countries are putting a strain on already stretched resources.
We have limited resources, enough to support 5,000 families. Now, in and around the town, there are 70,000 people in need. That's 12,000 families. So we have a gap of not being able to provide agricultural support to 7,000 families.
Violence has escalated in Congo since President Joseph Kabila refused to step down after his mandate ended in December. Analysts fear growing fighting could spark a repeat of the conflict seen between 1996 and 2003, mostly in the east of Congo, in which millions died, mainly from hunger and disease.
In South Africa, a mobile clinic brings hope and healthcare to a small farming town of Elmers in Johannesburg. The Pello Pepper train is known across the country as the train of hope that performs miracles for thousands of South Africans.
The Pello Paper train Known here as the Train of Hope, draws crowds wherever it goes. The 19-car clinic on rails tours South Africa, offering affordable health care to poor South Africans in remote areas. At a recent stop in Delmas, a small farming town east of South Africa's economic capital, Johannesburg, patients line up for hours to take advantage of the services. The mobile train clinic has been a lifeline for the 7,399 residents here, most of whom don't have access to or can't afford public hospitals. The train offers services such as an eye clinic, general medicine, dentistry, psychology services, and a fully stocked pharmacy.
We have observed as we travel with the Pillow Pepper train, most of the provinces we realize that patients will go to the hospital and then they have been screened. Some of them, it takes so long for them to receive their spectacles. Whereas when you come on Pillow Pepper healthcare train, we've got the same day service. The patient will come in, will be screened, and then the script will be written for them. The very same day, they are going to receive their pair of spectacles.
Depending on the size of the community it's serving, the mobile train clinic spends 1 to 2 weeks at each stop. Patients are charged 30 Rand for a pair of glasses, 10 Rand for dental work, and 5 Rand for prescription medicine, as opposed to public hospitals that charge about 100 Rand for general consultation.
It's actually a very great initiative, and it actually helps to, those people who actually have challenges with eyesight and stuff like that, but with all other medical problems that people might have.
Run by South African Rail, Port and Pipeline Company Transnet, the train has about 20 permanent resident medical and administration staff, as well as a rotating crew of medical students from various universities in South Africa.
Ebtisam Mohammed is a 45-year-old single mother who is keeping an age-old tradition alive in Egypt. Her laundry services include using a foot iron for clothes. It's not common today, but she does a wonderful job of making people see that just because it's old does not mean it does not work.
Right in a narrow alleyway of Egypt's coastal city Alexandria, Ebtisam Mohammed works on a decades-old Egyptian tradition of ironing clothes. Unlike in regular ironing, she smooths out the creases in the clothes using a large piece of metal slab, which weighs nearly 40 kilograms with her feet uneat. This 45-year-old single mother has been doing this job for the past 35 years, a trait she inherited from her mother and grandfather. She relieves the moment by going down memory lane.
I was 10 years old when I first started ironing, and I couldn't even lift the iron from the oven to the table. We call this little oven the House of Fire. It hasn't changed since we started, but heating methods have now been developed from kerosene to gas-filled canisters to what we use now, which is natural gas. This is probably the only thing that has changed in the shop.
Handheld electric and steam irons may now be stiff competition, but Mohammed says her technique is more efficient because of the increased pressure and weight on the clothes. It usually takes her up to 20 minutes to iron a single piece of clothing, moving her leg back and forth several times to ensure the clothes are smooth and crease-free.
I heat the iron depending on the amount of work I have. If I have to iron 3 or 4 pieces of clothing, that will require the iron to be at certain temperature. And if I have to iron 1 piece, it will require a different temperature. So it all depends on the workload.
Mohammed's loyal customers say they prefer her method to regular ones. Some are surprised to see a woman taking up a trade which usually is a preserve of ironing men or makwagi.
Well, that's Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.